flow and skill?
Good evening, everyone, and I'm really sorry I made everybody wait, especially my fellow panelists. I think you very rightly said that when we're looking at delivering a future for 2047, civil services will have to play a strong role in it. And that's actually been something that we've all individually and collectively working towards. How do we define what we're going to envision India as, and then what is our path to it? So when we address it in terms of the question that we have here, are we really future ready? If you look at how civil services and the people who are entering services has evolved over the years, it tells you how the society has changed and how perceptions, how government planning, government execution has changed. For example, today most of us are technically qualified. We have doctors, engineers, professional services. We have lawyers, we have CAs, we have MBAs, we have scientists who are part of civil services. So, these are all people who are technically skilled and then have become generalists. So, when we talk of a future, wherein we decide that India's manpower, our human resource, is going to be developed at that level, we are then saying that the people who are planning that are also coming with that skill. So, while we may not be completely future ready because we can say what exactly we need to be, but I do believe that somewhere we started the journey. And as people who are defining those policies and those plans, and Bhupesh said like he's in higher education, so that's a very big chunk of how we plan, plan our manpower, plan the future. It is the direction that government and civil servants will have to do that changes the course of things.
So, like she said that you are there where we all the planning happens. So, how do you see the approach changing? Like earlier there was the bureaucracy is always like to be status quo and rules and things. But now with technology, with more and more role of civil society and private sector, how do you see that role changing? What kind of change will be there?
Yes, good evening everyone, and thank you for having me here. And like what Ira said, I would like to build on that both the country, the society, and the civil services as well has evolved, and they have fared pretty well over the past 75 years and contributed very, very significantly, I would say, in the nation building. We would have been a very different nation if our civil services or our constitution or our political system had not delivered. So it's very easy today to think about that things are not going well, but I see that we would have been a very different nation if even one of the systems would have failed. So our civil services has so far delivered, and I'm pretty sure that they would continue to deliver. The role of the civil servant has changed over the past 75 years. Earlier, as the part of the civil, when we call ICS services under the British, the role was completely different. The role was revenue collection from the native population and give it to a foreign master. So from there, the role has evolved now about serving the population, serving the society, delivery of social sector schemes, policy formulation, policy implementation with a view on the society development and the national growth. So the role has completely changed, and the civil servant has continued to evolve, and I'm sure that that process is natural and will continue happening.
So, Sajid, I would like to know, like in policing, how do you see that, what kind of changes are there in policing, and how do you see this change in civil services in policing?
Good evening, everyone. See, as the society changes, accordingly the crime changes. So is police adapting itself. Police is adapting itself to tackle all those challenges. So very well, yes, we are prepared and we are preparing for tomorrow as well. In terms of technology, yes, we are adopting very fast. Not only that, the way the crime is done, the type of crime or the way it is committed online and utilizing all technology and all. So everything is being taken care of in the decisions the policymakers are making today, so that the policing is ready for tomorrow, the decisions we are taking today. So that is how it is changing. It is shaping up in various ways, not only in tackling the law and order, but also like the various initiatives in engaging the society. As you might be knowing about the UA project which the police is doing right now. So like that we are engaging with the society so that we adapt to the society as well.
So definitely, and one point that I would like to take up is technology, right? So technology is going to play a very important role. It is playing an important role with fourth industrial revolution. We have new set of technologies like blockchain and all, and government is trying to use those technologies. So when we are using these technologies, these civil servants, are they required to be technocrat, or do we require separate, cadre of technocrats? So Ira, please.
I think the whole definition of civil services, and I'll speak specifically for the IAS, because we are the most generalist amongst the generalists. So I am an engineer and I did my MBA, which was a generalist thing, but even then we had specializations there. And having come here, what we realize is that it's very important for people to have an overarching view when you're executing something. So it's not just about blockchain, it is also about understanding how that affects every single other sector that is available in the country or that functions. For example, whenever you bring in a new technology, it will have the adverse and the positive sides both. Now, if you do not understand where all it can go wrong, see what is our strength? Our strength is actually understanding the world around us, knowing the connections, knowing the stakeholders, knowing how they interact with each other, and knowing how they produce results. So, while it is good for us to know the basic know-how of everything, because at least in my service, we do not execute, sit and make that paper. For us, it's important to know how it impacts everything around us. So when we talk about policies, they cannot be very, technical policies. They're supposed to be policies which are generalist policies because they affect everything. Every little thing that you do, for example, if this is a road, you deciding how big this road is or how small this road is a technical thing. But how it affects the life around it, if this road passes through here, is there something on that side which gets negatively impacted or positively impacted? Those parameters, a person who's an engineer for the road will not know. Right? So, you take any little thing, you talk about, let's talk about opening schools from a specific time. You think about it in terms of it's easier for teachers to come at that time, it's easier for students to wake up earlier come. But there is also the other factor that when those students come out on the road, how does the rest of the city look like? If the buses are on the road, does that affect my office going traffic or does the bus get delayed? So it's a lot of other parameters that come into play. So I think being a generalist is still important as the person, because unless you bring in that bird's eye view of everything, that technical aspect will not create the impact that you thought it would.
Definitely, and like here, one thing is there that while you are planning and implementing something, one thing is having the bird's eye view, and another thing is to know about specifically that technology, right? So how do civil servants, aim to overcome this regarding the knowledge of the technology? Like in the case, for instance, say civil servants are, maybe they have overall view, but there are specific technologies, new technologies they are coming up. So there we need, like a specialist, even we need, those who have detailed information about that technology, right? So how could this, shortcoming be overcome? Like some sort of domain specialization could be done in this area. So, what would be your views on
So, first of all, I don't see it as a shortcoming because the role that we play in the government is like if you come from the IT background, since I come from an IT background, I can give a simple example that there has to be a system integrator. There is a database, there is an application server, there is a middle layer, but there has to be a system integrator who is able to stitch the whole solution and present it, deliver it on time, and enable the input and the output. So I see that the civil servants or the bureaucracy works as a gelling agent, as a stitching agent who's able to so basically what I'm trying to say is that the role of the civil servant is not to write a code on the blockchain. We are not there to the civil servants. They are not to make a robotic arm to conduct surgery. So the role of a civil servant is to provide an enabling environment. First of all, in the policy formulation, see where the nation is going, where the demand is, and preparing the whole ecosystem, making the policies, then delivering those policies, implementing, preparing a regulatory framework if at all it is required, promoting the skills, and making sure that the entire effort, whatever we are doing, is available to the whole population in a very inclusive manner, just like we are able to serve the society. So that's what I feel. It's a long pending debate between the specialist and the journalist. But I feel the way India is evolving, there is a definite need for more journalists who are able to stitch the solution, who are able to provide solution to a particular problem. Because blockchain, somebody has to see that how the like she said, that blockchain, okay, but how blockchain is going to help me streamline the process of land revenue administration, or how the blockchain is going to help me deliver a social sector scheme like Manrega in a more efficient way. How am I able to reduce the money that I spend on the delivery, the execution of that scheme? So these are the questions I think, so we are talking about two different things I think.
Yeah, definitely. No, I get your point. Like, definitely there is technology and there is one who are enabling and, putting that technology to the benefit of the society. So that is the role of the citizens. Now, second important factor we see is that the role of private sector and civil society has substantially increased, right? So in this context, civil servant has to have more networking and collaborative skills. So, it is Yuva 2.0 was mentioned by Ali Police. So how do you see that, how can we ensure that such more and more such initiatives be institutionalized, right? So it should not be a one-off thing, that in the sense that more and more such innovations should come on ground from the civil servants. So what would be your view?
Yeah, see, already the institution is there and there is a structure which is helping to implement this. We are leveraging the full structure right from the beat constabulary to identify the right people, because the focus is mainly on different sectors, the vulnerable group, which are either victim or vulnerable to taking up crime. So it is, if I would say, yes, of course it is institutionalized in that way, but yes, it can be adapted by different agencies, or you can say different agencies in different states, which is definitely possible. And here we are collaborating with the agencies of central government, which are helping us in taking it forward, so that there is a wide reach and a right person is identified. And if they are not getting an environment or possibilities or the opportunities with their possibilities,